There we go. Hey.
All right. Okay. Hello, everybody. So sorry for that. It is Jamie back with Destination Exploration for another at-home try-in Tuesday. We have had a crazy time trying to get this going, but I'm so happy that we've been able to get it ready for you guys. I hope the fan in here isn't a little loud. I know it's kind of a little bit, but we'll hope for the best. So today we're going to be doing magic milk. So the items that you need to grab at home is a tin or a tray of sorts. Any sort of Tupperware dish will work. So, or a glass or a cup or a plate that has rims on it. Just anything that you can pour milk into that's not going to spill all over the place. Then you will need some milk from your fridge. I don't have a set amount because depending on your dish will depend on how much milk you do need. So just any sort of milk you have in your fridge. You will need some dish soap and a container to put your dish soap in. Any dish soap works. I just have Dawn with me today. You will either need Q-tips or toothpicks. Both will work for this. I find Q-tips work a little bit better, so you might want to grab Q-tips instead if you have them. If not, a toothpick will work too. And then you will need some sort of food coloring. Today I have blue, red, green, and yellow, just your basic colors, but you can use whichever colors you would like to use for this experiment. Okay, so one more time, that is a tray, some milk, soap, any sort of tool that you can kind of put in things, and then some food coloring, okay? So the first step to our experiment today is you need to grab your tray and put it in front of you. Then you will need to grab your milk. When pouring your milk, you need to make sure that you have a thick enough layer that you can't see the bottom of your dish that you have it in. So for me, that's a little bit more than it might be for you if you're using a Tupperware. But as you can see, I'll try and angle the camera down. It's very much so white. You can't see the tray beneath it. So that is your first step for this. And then when we think about milk, what is milk made of? Well, milk is actually made of different types of minerals and proteins and this really cool thing called fat. And within it, it also has water molecules all in it. So we're going to kind of see what happens to all of these different things when we try and combine different things together. So you should have your milk in your tray so that it covers just enough so you can't see the bottom. You're going to pour a little bit of soap into a container. It does not have to be lots, so don't put like half a cup in here. You can just put a little bit will do. So your next step is grab your food coloring. As many colors as you'd like or as little colors as you'd like. It's whatever you would like. So I'm going to use blue first, and you're going to want to make nice small drops. So just 1 or 2 drops of food coloring. And you want to make sure that you do not swirl the dish. So do not move the dish once it has the food coloring in it, because it is going to separate a little bit, but we don't want to see anything, and we don't want to mix all the different colors together. You can do this in different cups if you would like, and that would work too. And you can put as many different colors as you'd like. So I'm going to put a little bit of each color. So green, red, yellow, all of them, the blue. The blue's kind of spreading for some reason, I'm not too sure why, but you don't want to mix, that's what you do not want to happen, so you don't want to mix the dish beforehand, okay? So you're going to take these 1 or 2 drops into your milk that is just covering the edge, and then you're going to grab a Q-tip or a toothpick. I'm going to use a Q-tip, and you're going to dip it into your soap. Just the end of it into the soap so that it looks like this. You have some soap on the end. Now, we're going to go up and down with our motion. We're not going to swirl because that's going to wreck what it looks like, okay? You want to go up and down so that you get the full effect. So you take your toothpick and you go up and down. So I'm not sure if you can quite see it in my dish. I'll try and angle the camera a little bit lower here for you. There we go. When you put it in, all the different food colors dance. So they all move around and they make really cool patterns. Why is that? Can anyone make a guess as to why that happens? If you have the comment section, feel free to comment. But we like to see, I like to talk to all of you. And yeah, so it does make really cool things. You are free to dip it back in your soap again and try it and see what happens. You can make really cool colors. I made some purples and some blues and some greens in here. It's really cool. It is super cool, I know, right? So what do you think happens to our milk when we put the soap inside of it? Does anyone have any ideas? Exactly. So I see a comment that says colors don't like the soap. They don't. So the colors in here bind to the milk and the fats, and they also bind to all those water molecules I was talking about in the food coloring. It gets really attached to it and likes to be really close to it. And when you put the soap in it, the soap particles are like, oh my gosh, I don't like those, but I do like the fat particles. So the soap is going to attract all of those fat particles that are in the milk. But that means that if all the fat is coming towards the soap, where does the water have to go? Well, the water is going to go away from the soap. So that's what you get. You get the water dancing and moving, which is super, super awesome. So if you are doing this at home and you have a trip to the grocery store, so here I used 1% milk. So that means 1% milk fat. So that's how much fat content is in our milk. Do you think that if I maybe use 2% or 3%, if it would work better or worse? This is something that you can try at home. If you have a little bit of extra spare time, maybe you can get a few different types of milk. I would highly recommend trying it because it is really, really, really cool once you do get to see the differences between them. So I'm going to leave that a little bit of a surprise for you, for all of you, because I don't want to do that. Better? Is it better? It is better. So it will, spoiler alert, get a little bit more dancey and they'll spread farther because there's more milk particles to be attracted to the soap versus the water being pushed away. So if you're just tuning in now, we just put some milk into our tray with some food coloring, and we took our toothpick or Q-tip, you dip it into the soap, and then you dip it into your colors and they dance. As you could tell, when I did it again, it didn't really work. Does anyone have a guess as to why it didn't work? So I have a question. It says, does cream work? So cream would work. So cream has a very, very, very high fat content in it. So it's like milk times 1,000. It's crazy. So when you use cream, it would actually make that dance way more, or make that food coloring expand farther. Okay, so mine didn't work anymore when I tried it again. I dipped it in the soap and I don't see it dance. Why is that? Well, what happens is the soap ends up getting mixed in, and that means that there's soap everywhere now. So all of the food coloring has been pushed away as far as it can go. And as you can tell, lots of my food coloring is actually on the sides of the tray. If you can see that there. Lots of my food coloring is on the outside of the tray. So that's because all of the soap that was in the middle pushed it all to the outside, and it's all kind of mixed together now. So the effect isn't going to happen anymore. But if I were to clean out this dish and try again, it would work again. So you can do this as many times as you would like at home, and you can try as many different colors, you can try different milks. So that's really cool, and I think magic milk is great. I have another comment that says magic. It is magical, but it is also science. So that is super cool. And I would like to thank you all for coming to another Try 'em Tuesday with Destination Exploration at Home. If you enjoy these videos, we have our Tech Thursdays too, where you can learn how to code Python and do a whole bunch of really cool tech stuff. But you can follow us on all of our different social medias. That is under Lethbridge DE. So that's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of the above. I have a comment that says do it. So I'm going to clean this out and we're going to do it one more time. Does that sound like a good idea? Let's do it in the sink right here. It is just milk, so you can in fact put it down the sink. That is okay. Now, when you're cleaning it out, and if you want to try again, you need to make sure that you get as much of the soap out as possible. Because if there's soap left in it, that means that you're going to have your food coloring dispersed before you want it to. So maybe a quick dry. Make sure your area is a little clean. So, for the second time, you're going to take your milk. You want to make sure that the entire bottom layer is covered so that all you can see is white. You can't see the bottom of the tray at all. Or your cup or glass, whichever you are using right now. Then you're going to take your food colorings of your choice. I just have your basic primary colors and green. And you're gonna do 2 drops of it. I find 2 works the best. If you put too much, sometimes you get too many colors in there at once and you can't quite see what happens. So I put all of my colors in. Now you take your soap. I'm actually going to use a toothpick this time to show you what it looks like with a toothpick. But you dip the end of it into your soap and then you put it in and it dances. See? It all spreads apart into different ones. If we look, see how it's all spreading the yellow and the greens? So I find the Q-tip works a little bit better, but a toothpick will suffice if that is all you have at home. So that is our next Try-'em Tuesday. We did Magic Milk. I'm Jamie with Destination Exploration, and thank you so much for coming to this live. We do have one on other Tuesdays, so make sure you follow here to know what materials you're gonna need, or if you're doing any of our Try-'em Thursdays. All right, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.